late there after little wine time there. It's actually a good time for a little pizza, right? This is great. So I'm gonna, first of all, get back to the dough a little bit. I made some dough balls early this morning. Been proofing these for maybe like 5 or 6 hours, since like 7. So it's at 5 hours. I've got 2 big ones in here. And what I love about these containers, I just kind of take it out of the fridge, ball it up, and just let it sit. They cover it up nicely. Always cover your dough. So if you're, put it on a sheet tray, put saran wrap on it, just make sure it's airtight. Otherwise it'll get a little crusty on top. We've all seen that before. These things are humongous. They're probably about 260, 70 gram dough balls. In my container of flour, I've actually already did a combination of flour and semolina flour. So I've got a combo going, which is great, which is what I love for pizza. And I'm just gonna put that down here. I'm gonna set up this a little differently here so we can see what I'm doing. How's that, chef? Okay, is it too dark, you guys? Okay, so I've got that kind of there, sitting there. I always give it a couple of flips just to make sure it's not gonna get stuck. Meanwhile, what I've been doing for the last like 2 hours, I've got my sauce out, I've got my cheese grated, I've got my oven on. This is an electric oven. So I've been preheating it at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for the last 2 hours. And the reason I do 450 versus 500 is because this is electric. It's got a lot of electric components on it as well, and it's very intelligent. So in other words, if it gets too hot, when I switch it to broil, that broiler is not going to kick in right away. So what I found is by reducing the heat in the warm up at 450 Fahrenheit, I find that when I switch it to broil, it kicks on a little faster. We'll see that magic work in a little bit. But for now, I've got a 3-day dough that's been fermenting or proofing on the counter for the last like 5 hours. It's really relaxed. If you can see, I'm gonna pull it up for a second. Look at the glutens, how like relaxed these are, right? So we'll get to stretching that in just a minute, but we like that because it's like it's been a yoga class all day long. So the glutens are really chill and it's gonna stretch, gravity stretches it super easy. That's gonna be really important. Next, what I did, my only other prep really is I grated some cheese, okay? And I've got this Oliver Farms in Michigan. They've got this raw milk or raw, I think is it raw milk, chef? Yep. Raw milk, low moisture mozzarella. And it is amazing how it cooks. It doesn't brown too much. What's really important is that we grate our own cheese. As you can see, I've got my grater here. I've already grated this. And what I did is after I grated it, I kind of snuck it into the freezer for a few minutes. So this is really, really cold. But the idea is to kind of slow down the cooking process just a tiny bit, a smidgen, which will allow that cheese to really melt beautifully on a cooked pizza. So again, I did shred it up earlier. Look at this shredder, by the way. 1920s, what's this thing called? The Wonder Shredder, appropriately named as well. The Wonder Shredder, boom. So my cheese is shredded. Only, this is a whole milk mozzarella. I like to do a little combination. So I usually pick that off by hand. So now let's get back to the dough. And then the other thing you have to have is a pizza peel. We like wood to launch into the oven because when I put my dough on here, you'll see in a few minutes, it's less tending to stick to this. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my flour mixture, my flour and semolina, you can see, just dust it on lightly, just a little bit. You don't need a ton, just enough to kind of, so my dough will slide back and forth on top. Now we're gonna get to the dough. And you can see my dough, I might actually pick it up, it'd be easier to see. And the secret to round pizza is to start with the round dough. So you can see my dough here, okay? It's really relaxed. So all I'm doing is taking my hands, almost like a fist, and rotating it and letting gravity kind of do its thing, right? So I'm rotating. It's already starting to stretch. Isn't that amazing? beautiful. The lighting's not that great in here right now, but you can see these incredible air bubbles that are popping up. I just love. And when it gets to be about 10 or 12 inches, I can pick it up and put it on my peel, right? So I scrape up my little flour mess here. So you can see here, I've got my dough. My peel is 14 inches. My dough is probably about 10. I can stretch this a little bit more and I can pinch these edges. However, what's really important is that this thing is going to slide. And I want to make sure I give this a little shake. Okay. And that makes the ball bearings underneath the flour and the semolina flour are allowing this thing to move. And I don't want to put any sauce or any cheese on top until this dough, I'm assured this dough is going to slide. That's it. So it's sliding. I'm confident now that I can put my sauce and then my cheese. This is my tomato sauce, which if you've been following us enough, this is crushed tomatoes and sea salt. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of put a little bit on. I bring it all the way to the edge, but I don't go over the edge, just like life, right? And I don't want to go too heavy on my toppings because then this pizza doesn't have a chance to cook. So there's my sauce. If I want to add a little bit of oregano, now's a good time. A dried herb, I can kind of bury it underneath the cheese. Okay. Next, what I'll add is the cheese. I take my shredded, this is the mozzarella. Okay. Again, less is more. Before I put the mozzarella on, I might want to give this a shake again. It's still loose like a hockey puck. So I'm confident I can get this thing into the oven. Add a little bit more cheese, guys. Yes or no? Yeah, no. The mozzarella, this is the fresh mozzarella. I like to kind of blend the cheeses together. It looks cool, tastes good. More cheese? Anybody saying more cheese, Chef?
Not yet.
Not yet, huh? Okay, you guys like the cheese? Okay, cheese distribution is good. Again, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna switch my oven. I don't know if you can see this oven. It's got like, it's all these electronics. I'm gonna switch it over to broil. And a lot of the electric ovens have two versions of broil, high or low. I always go high, just go up. My dough on here is still loose. It's still sliding back and forth. If it's not sliding, now is the time to fix that. So I could probably kind of stick my spatula underneath there and throw some more flour, more ball bearings right underneath that stuck area. And I know this is gonna fly. It's still loose. All right, so now I switched it about 30 seconds ago. I bet it's gonna be kicking in about 30 more seconds. That broiler is gonna be turning on because I preheated at 450 versus 500. So the oven's not hot enough yet to turn itself off. So, or to shut itself, to max itself out, I should say. And now my broiler is actually on. So I'm gonna take the back of my peel, and maybe you guys can see this here. I don't know if does that help, Chef? You probably can't see. Actually, where's my phone? Our sound system. I'm gonna move this down, maybe so you can see. Here, touch my oven, boom. Slide the rack out, back of the peel to the back of the steel. Close her up. Boom. And now we're gonna wait 2 minutes until that, I'm gonna open the oven up, peek inside, maybe rotate this thing a little bit, turn the broiler off, and let this thing continue to bake for 2 more minutes. And 4 minutes later, we're gonna have this just awesome looking pie. And I know I'm pretty confident with the timing on this one, because although I don't have a timer on. If someone could put a timer on, that'd be awesome for like maybe 60 seconds, Chef.
Sure.
And then what we'll do is we'll take a peek, rotate it once, turn the broiler off, and I think we'll be good. And then if you guys have any questions, There's a Q&A in there. Drop them in. We'll get to those at the end. Is anybody in Grand Rapids? I need someone to eat this pizza. Or help me eat this pizza, I should say. I can smell it.
Maybe show how you like spin and turn in the oven too.
Oh, that's a good call. Was that a good view, by the way?
You saw like 2/3 of the pizza in there.
All right, let me try to get this a little closer. So I'm gonna. Sorry about we don't have the good camera today. I had a problem with my camera, but it's been, how long has that been?
It's been a minute and a half.
Okay, so it's probably a little bit early, but let's look inside. You can see these bubbles here. So what I'm doing, I'm rotating it by hand very fast. I'm gonna close it up again. We'll get that like another probably 30, 45 seconds. I'm gonna turn the broiler off. And when I turn the broiler off, that means the top of the pizza is gonna kind of stop cooking as heavy as the bottom. So the bottom can now catch up to the top, if that makes sense. I actually have 2 steels in here. So if I get in a pinch and I don't turn my broiler off in time, I'll just kind of move that down to the bottom steel, which now is gonna be hotter than the top steel because nothing's been sitting on top of it. That's the beauty of the steel though. It's gonna get really hot and stay hot. So I'm gonna probably look in there again right now. Actually, and the broiler's, what's nice about this oven is that broiler's still on. So it's like beaming down, probably like 600 degrees at this point. Let's take a look again. Yeah, it's aggressive. I'm gonna give you guys a peek at this mid-bake. It's not done yet. The top's just about colored though. See the color on the top? But now the bottom, I'm gonna turn that, I'm gonna put it on the bottom steel because I forgot to turn the broiler off. I'll put it back on convection bake, and now I can go to 500 degrees. Boom. These go to 550, which is crazy. So now I'm preheating it at 500. I mean, if you want to put a timer on 90 seconds again, Chef, that'd be great. And then we'll be done. This pizza will be ready to rock and roll, to slice and eat and enjoy. Really cool. It's amazing. And I've got this oven, by the way, has an app, which is crazy. So I left my house the other day to come to the studio, and I had some dough at the house I was bringing with me, and I was able to go into my app, turn the oven on from the road, and preheat it before I got here. So I was able to stop at the market, grab some cheese, whatever I was grabbing, show up here, the studio, and boom, my oven's already hot. Isn't that crazy? Don't tell my insurance guy that. Tom, I hope you're not listening. It was great. And then what else? Chef, any more questions there yet?
I got a bunch of them.
Okay, cool. So give me I'll pull this out in a sec. How much time is that?
Been 50 seconds.
All right, cool. I'm not so concerned now with the bottom of the pie as I was the top. With the top, I'm kind of micromanaging myself because that broiler gets so hot. It's not gonna be a perfectly even sear on top. Like the char is gonna be different. That's why we rotate a little bit. But once I go to the off broiler and just convection bake, I'm not really so worried about the top anymore. So I don't really need to spend my time rotating as much. I'm not as concerned about that. I've already got the color I want. Now I'm just kind of letting the bottom catch up to the top, and boom, we have pizza.
90 seconds.
90 seconds. All right, that's 90 seconds. Let's pull it out. I didn't turn the oven off. I'll leave the oven off. Let's see. Oh man, it is beautiful. If you guys can see that, it's gonna be hot. I'm gonna show you. Boom, right? And the bottom's now cooked. Top is cooked, and that's hot. Woo. It looks beautiful though. It's gorgeous. Boom. I could probably give the bottom maybe another 30, 40 seconds if I'd like. Or I can just put this in a box and bring it home and we can just kind of bake it again later on tonight. We can bake this for a little snack later. So it's cooked like 90% of the way. So when I reheat it, it'll get to 100 and boom, it'll be beautiful. And it's gorgeous too. And if you'd like, this is a good time to maybe top some basil on or some Romano cheese, sprinkle some on top, right? Just like a little bit. It's kind of like we call it like the finishing station. Boom. Smells incredible. It's great. That's our pizza. That's our, 4-minute pizza at home on a baking steel. The dough is incredible. The cheese, I don't know if you can see how creamy the cheese looks. Just really gorgeous. Smells amazing. It's an amazing day, everybody.